Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me to be part of your Sunday morning. It means a lot, for we are all part of a big Unity family. It's been 9 years that I'm here in the Raleigh area, and it's the first time that I get to be with you, even though we might not be physically together. I'm grateful for this technology and for Divine Order that had brought me in this morning to share sacred space with all of you. It is definitely a big honor to be together and explore what I feel needs to be expressed today, as I was going within and wondering what is it that I should be just sharing with my other Unity friends and companions of the path. And for sure, we know that this is a time of transition. And I know it's been a time of transition at many levels, especially for this community. A year ago, you had to let Reverend Bev move into her path of evolution as she had her transition. Probably knowing that a year later, there's not really a minister in charge. You're not in your regular building, and like the rest of the world, we are going through all this social distancing that makes life so different. And it makes us wonder for how long and what will the new normal be like. And we could think in a way that something has gone wrong, or that we're just under a streak of one thing after the other, and wondering what will the new normal will be like. When will the new minister show up? When can we get together as we used to? And I know many friends, many people in our own Unity of the Triangle community are really longing for that connection. But today, what I really would like to explore with you is that, and I'm sure being in the path for so long, there's always another perspective of what we can see in the outer. What does this pandemic time and this time of change and this time of transition, the way it has happened in the world and in this community, really, really mean? And we know that man's adversity is really God's opportunity. And that if we go deeper and we go within, there's always great insights that are waiting for us to recognize. And those insights become gifts. It's almost as if we are here and all the situations are happening around us. Changes in our spiritual community, changes in the world. This whole situation that has given energy to the whole pain and sorrow of the African American community. It just feels that it's one thing after the other. And we are at this time, and this is how I see it, invited to really go within and go deeper and start exploring things and perspectives that maybe we have not been able to look at because we have been so busy and so distracted in our everyday routines. And to me, when I really want to go deeper, I try to remember the core principles of unity, which tells us what? That there is always divine order. That divine order is always sustaining every aspect of our lives. That divine order is always taking us for more expression of good. Why? Because there's only one presence, one power, one activity in all the universe and in our lives, God the good, omnipotent, and omnipresent. There is no place where God's good is not. And that's why we know, if we really go to that place within, that there's this force, this essence, this presence that I like to call grace, that is always sustaining us. And by us going within, tapping into that, then we place ourselves there to start looking at the outside with different eyes. And one of the first things that come to mind is the fact that even letting go of Reverend Bev and going through the grieving process of losing a dear one can get us into. And when we go to that place of wisdom within, we can really see for ourselves the lessons, the insights, the perspectives. Like maybe this is the way that she finalized her sacred work with this community, by stepping out and letting and allowing all of you to maybe step up, maybe joining in a different way, maybe having to reassess what is this whole dynamic all about. And in a way, from that other perspective, we start seeing the blessing, the connection, and divine order at work. This pandemic has meant a different thing for everybody. I'm sure that for some people it's been really tough experiencing the COVID-19 virus, seeing their loved ones die out of that in empty hospitals, and can't imagine what that has been like. For others, it's been about having more time to experience with, to spend with family. For others, been more responsibility, because in the health care providers have had to spend more time. Scientists who are currently heavily involved in coming up with a cure, government officials are trying to hold everything together. And again, people from our community, like the African Americans friends who have been exposed in this way through the death of George Floyd. So it has meant something different for each person, and I'm sure it has meant something else for you, or you might be in the process of figuring out what it has meant. In my personal life, I have gone through a lot of change in the past few years, significant changes. And there's always resistance as human beings to not let change be. But what I've been learning more and more, that as I have surrendered and given myself to the rhythm and the free flow of life, I'm finding a new dimension of connection with spirit. I'm finding a stronger sense of guidance. And it's interesting that I was sharing with a group in my community. We have a Tuesday class that we have every week. And we were talking about that, about how if we allow ourselves to surrender to the change and make it okay and be in non-resistance, our connection to spirit just really takes another dimension, for we are allowing and trusting, right? And I remember a dream that I had that I shared, and I feel like really sharing with this today. And because in my new way of connecting to spirit, I'm getting so much more insight through my dreams. Anyways, late December of 2019, I have this dream about camels. I have never in my life dreamed about being with camels, but I'm seeing these two camels together, and I'm seeing that the ultimate destination of these camels was a happy place. There was a sense of success, completion, well-being. And of course, I got up that morning wanting to know, what does that mean, dreaming with camels? And I would like to read from my journal what I found, and I'm going to just connect it. It's going to make sense. Hang in there. It says, camel is one of the most powerful symbols of endurance, strength, and persistence. It is also considered a symbol of sacrifices we all need to make at certain points of our lives in order to advance. It also represents credible patience and steadiness. Camels can have long distance travel, endure many days without eating and drinking because, of course, of the fatty cells that they have in their humps. They can get metabolized and support them as they do their journey. They are considered to be the ships of the desert. And then I kept going, okay, and how does that relate to me? And then I found this message from some other page online that says, slow down and reserve your energy. I must teach you the importance of survival and living from within. You must go inside now and take inventory of your reserves. Be of humble service to others, but don't give away too much of your power. You must retain life energy within you for the long haul. You may have a long life to live and will need to control your exhaustion. You must stand strong now and learn to depend on your own inner gifts and talents. You must take only what you need now and leave what you cannot carry. You will learn from me to be a pillar of health. Your vitality comes from within. Gather your life energy now through rest and relaxation, for you will need it on your long journey. And as I was in that class, I remembered the dream, and it came very clear that I was being told as we were ending the year that there was going to be a period of my upcoming life in which I was not going to get my regular nourishment. That life as I knew it, as I would get nourished, will not happen. That I had to depend on my inner reserves. And what came to me through this analysis or introspection was that as I would start using all the reserves of my prayer work, or of my spiritual reserves and all of that, that I could continue my journey through what might appear to be a desert, but that in the process, I was going to be able to deliver something of value. And what's happened to me is that this pandemic time has given me an opportunity to really spend more time with myself, to really bring forth certain creativity that I've had like in there that wanted to be expressed, and now is coming through because I am working off my reserves and because the world as I knew it was not there anymore. And the reason why I'm bringing this to you at this time, it's for you to really give it a thought. What is this? What is this being asked of you at this time? Can you make it about being willing to use up what is there for you to realize and find a new dimension with spirit, to finally rediscover yourself as the divine being that you are, by not being too much out there, but really, really spending time in your own being, dedicating time to silence, being willing to listen, being willing to allow that inner guidance to tell you, This is what this process is all about. And I really believe that as a community, you all open up to a new way, to a new guidance, to a new expression. I am sure that you will see divine order in this whole process, and seeing that even though the change and transition at times we go like, this should not be this way, and we shouldn't, something went wrong here. It's really, we know by the truth that we know that it's always an opportunity for expansion, an opportunity to awake, an opportunity to bring that Christ presence out into the world. And I hope friends from the Unity Church of Raleigh, who shared this beautiful path of unity, of the unity philosophy, that you allow what Spirit wants to bring forth in you, and for all of you as a community, that as you step up in consciousness, you welcome the new vision and mission for this church, that you attract the right and perfect leadership so that you may fulfill God's mission for this church. And this is what I am holding this morning for you, that you are being sustained through this change, that you are waking up to your divine nature, and that you are creating the sense of expectancy and joy that some major good is coming your way. So let's bring that into a prayer at this moment. I imagine every member of the Unity Church of the Triangle at this moment. You might be online and physically distant, but through the power of love and heart, I visualize all of you holding hands, standing together, and knowing that this period of your church history, of the world history, of your own history, it's a time to go deeper, to rediscover the divine self that is you, to develop a stronger connection with the divine presence, and to know, to really know how at every moment we're indeed being sustained by God's love. That God's love, divine love, is at work in this congregation, healing what needs to be healed, restoring what needs to be restored, and opening up the gates of a new beginning, of a new reality in which you all come in stronger and wiser, ready to be an agent of transformation, an agent of change for the collective. I hold this for you, my friends. I feel your heart, I feel your energy, I feel your love. And as we experience the love of God together, we know there's nothing to really worry. We know God is in charge, and only good can come forth. I bless the board of this organization. I bless all the members, congregants, volunteers. We hold them in the place of the highest place of divine light, knowing that this light shows the way and that all is well. all will be well. And so it is, and so we let it be. Love you, my friends. Be well.